Hello, survivors, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Office Trenches. My name is Femme, and here in this small corner of the interwebs, we're just having a conversation about some of the frustrations and complexities that we faced in today's modern workplace. So, if this sounds like something you may be interested in too, please stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to join in on the conversation. All right, so for today's coffee break chat, we're going to be discussing the hidden cost of overworking. That's right, there is a hidden cost to overworking. But I want to say this first: overworking is not a badge of honor. And I'll repeat that: overworking is not a badge of honor. And in fact, it really is a one way ticket to Burnout City. So I want to get real about how those extra hours are actually costing us more than just our free time. When we look at overworking in general, I just did a simple Google search. And what came up for me was that I found interesting, rather, was statistics from the International Labor Organization. And according to them, it appears as if overworking is a global epidemic. People appear to be clocking in way too many hours. And I'm talking about, like, for example, 52 hours a week in places like South Korea. And then when you look at places such as Mexico or Japan, there isn't much difference in the amount of hours like in South Korea. And then, of course, comparing here in North America within the US and Canada. So, straight across the board, uh, overworking seems to be an issue. And it's not just about tired hands. It's more about burnt out minds, I'd like to call it. People are burnt out and tired. It's about strained hearts and going home, or whenever you do go home, you're more of a stranger because you spend more time out of the home working than inside of the home. And when you think about it, like the real reason, the why, well, I think part of the why happens to be due to the world that we live in. Let's face it, everything is always on, and there's always something or someone pushing for more. But when you step back and look at everything and consider the costs are high. Let's face it, your health, your happiness, family time, and other obligations and commitments, everything ends up on the chopping block. And for what? Really? For a few extra hours on the clock. And let me pause here and say, I'm not talking about those career jobs where long hours are standard in certain fields like the medical field and other areas. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about where there is an option. You have an option to working standard hours, but you're not adhering to that by choice. And that's what I'm talking about. All right. So that in itself, you know, can be problematic. And the bottom line is this: there are some impacts, and one of those impacts, negative impacts at that, happen to be affect your mental health. There are mental health impacts to overworking. And to lay it out plain and simple, overworking is really a fast track to mental health troubles. And when I say troubles, I'm talking about anxiety, depression, the whole nine yards. When your workday stretches longer than a summer day, your brain is going to be sending an SOS, and you really need to pay attention to it. Another negative impact would be how it affects your personal life. In other words, it really eliminates any personal life balance. Overworking just does not eat into your time, it gobbles up your personal life and your family life. And I'm talking about forgotten anniversaries, anything from missed dinners to the children, if you have any, wondering whether or not you're a guest in your own home because you spend more time out of the home than in the home because you're working. The truth is, when work is always on, something's got to give. And usually that something ends up being the closest to you. I'll share a quick thought here on that personally. I grew up in a single family home where my parent worked long hours, but they worked because, of course, it was a single parent home and they wanted to provide the best for myself and my siblings. And I am very grateful for that. And, you say as a child, when you get older, at least I said to myself, okay, I'm going to do things differently. Well, that time has come and I am older. And looking back, I can see where, okay, I'm now actually doing some of the things that I said I would never do. And one of those things would happen to be not really establishing a personal life balance or ensuring that there is one and just burying myself into my work. And so that's a cycle I know that I'm working on in 2024 to break. And I'm encouraging you listeners out there to do the same if you find yourself in the same position. And a few things that I believe would help you would be some solutions that I came up with. So the first solution that I came up with is this, and I love this. This is my personal favorite. That's why it's number one. And that is learn to say no. The word no is not a dirty word. All right. You have limits. And so people need to respect them. The second suggestion or solution would be maybe prioritize your tasks. Not everything is a 5 alarm fire, okay? Choose wisely, take your time, sort through everything. You can't take everything on. And the third suggestion or solution would be learn to delegate like a boss, right? You're part of a team, so you want to take advantage of that and use it. Fourthly, I would say, oh, and this is another good one, another personal favorite, set clear work life boundaries. I'll say that again, set clear work life boundaries. In other words, when you are off, be off. No exceptions. No extra emails. Do not accept a call. Do not accept a text. Nothing. You're off. And I'm kind of guilty of that as well. And then lastly, one other solution that I thought of would be um, take that vacation time. And I would even extend that to take your leaves. Any leave that you would have, use it. You have leaves for a reason. All right. Don't be a martyr for the grind. Hello. Work to live. Don't live to work. Because I promise you, if you're not there and the work needs to get done, the work's going to get done whether you're there or not. And that, I think, is a personal lesson that most people or quite a bit of people have experienced. So, to wrap things up, I want you to remember this. A job is a part of your life, yes, but it's not the whole story. So please learn to just keep those hours in check. And above all, take care of your number one asset. And that asset is you. All right. Okay. And before I go, here is today's or this week's water cooler wisecrack. I couldn't leave without giving you guys another one. So here it goes. Today's water cooler wisecrack is promotion promises in Narnia. Waiting for that promotion, like waiting for a bus in a no bus zone where it's always coming soon. And on that note, I'm going to leave you for today. Break time's just about up. But remember, life, it's not all about that hustle. It's really about making the hustle work for you. So challenge the norm and wear the change. And while you're at it, swing on over by our merch store, where you can find at on our website bit.ly/EEUNREST. That's bit.ly/EE Unrest. And FYI, the EE Unrest stands for Employee Unrest. Head on over there and grab yourself some gear that says you mean business about balancing that work life. All right. Well, until next time, stay strong, stay balanced, and let's keep shaking things up. Peace out.